It's pretty well known now that everyone in the Monster Hunter community is expecting the massive news for the next major Monster Hunter game. Now that Sunbreak's content is coming to an end, Monster Hunter now seems to be ramping up. Console gamers, specifically fans of the Monster Hunter series, are hoping for more major details, and those details seem to be far and few between. So GameRant has a recent article that I want to quickly touch upon, where they talk about what's next for the Monster Hunter franchise. This one coming to us directly from Liam Ferguson. Huge shout out to him for providing this information, and more importantly, providing a little bit of a discussion point as to what gamers want to see being added in the franchise. Everyone is of their own opinion. A lot of people have some things that they want to see more than others. I've spoken to that in multiple videos now. Features, monsters, things that they want to see return from previous games, new things that they wish to see added, weapon balances, new weapons introduced, etc. There's a plethora of things that they could do, but of course they're only going to do so much. So in this video, we're going to be having a little bit of a discussion as to what could potentially come next. Certainly want to encourage you guys in the comments to let me know what you think. The article opens up with another lull has come to Monster Hunter series. Monster Hunter Rise just released its final major update, bringing Primordial Malzeno into the game as its final monster. Between Monster Hunter Rise, the Sunbreak expansion, and the gradual rollout into every platform, the most recent generation of Monster Hunter has been a rousing success. Even if it didn't reach the heights of the famed Monster Hunter World did, it has had to match the entry propelled the franchise to worldwide recognition. However, that still comes as a problem. Now that Monster Hunter Rise has wrapped up development and fans are expecting to hear something about what's coming up next, the timing of the final update seemed like a perfect baton pass to the summer Game Fest. But no more Monster Hunter appear during any of its events. Even the upcoming mobile game Monster Hunter Now has only been seen for a few moments and was otherwise found at the physical Niantic booth. The franchise could go anywhere at this point, and it's not clear how long it will take to get there. A couple of things that of course he touches upon is the fact that yes indeed the Capcom digital presentation did not showcase anything new regarding the new Monster Hunter game, although that was something that we heavily saw a lot of rumors on leading up to it, which I famously covered, and some people on Reddit said that I was actually the one saying the rumors and I'm the one who got them started. I wasn't. I specifically quoted a couple of articles and a couple of tweets in my video, but of course people who hate will continue to do just that. At the same time, Monster Hunter Now was seen at the Niantic booth and one of those hands-on experiences. I've made a couple of videos recently regarding the current state of Monster Hunter Now, and gameplay is just not readily available because Niantic is keeping a tight lid on that and they don't want it to leak for whatever reason. So I think it would actually do them a service to get a new trailer out there, and we were expecting to see one, but we never actually did. The one that they rolled out in the I believe it was the Summer Game Fest show or whatever it was. I believe that was just the same trailer that we have seen before, with nothing really new being shown there. The article continues. The most obvious direction for Monster Hunter is Monster Hunter World 2. Of course, every time I say that, people in the comments go crazy, and Reddit goes crazy as well. But like this article states, that is the logical next step. As the original Monster Hunter World has become synonymous with the franchise, it would be best to carry on its names, or at the very least, its spirit, in the next title. For all the experimental features Monster Hunter Rise tried, such as Monster riding and the wirebug movement, World represents a return to Monster Hunter basics with modern polish. I actually disagree with that. It was a true reset point, bringing Monster Hunter to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One with the convenience and endeared it to many mainstream audiences. Monster Hunter World became the new baseline for the franchise, and it is impossible to go without more of that. What Monster Hunter World 2 could introduce isn't certain, but it could once again raise the franchise standard like Monster Hunter World, and it could make a generational leap to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles, and then the in-universe jump to a new locale with several new monsters. Unlike the predecessor, Monster Hunter World 2 could benefit in the assets built across the prior games as their expansions to quickly build a large monster pool. It could also cherry pick the best mechanics and abilities for Monster Hunter World and Rise, integrating them in a core mechanic while introducing something new and refreshing. An old feature like Monster Hunter tries swimming. Now, of course, I don't think underground water combat is going to come back, or swimming, or any sort of underwater combat anything. I've spoken about that in multiple videos. I know that's something that people ask for, but I don't see them doing that. I would actually expect them to do something more drastic, like I've spoken about before, with an open world kind of take on experience. This is what Monster Hunter now is doing basically at this moment. Now they are doing pretty much an open world experience in mobile devices, in their own weird segmented fashion. So at the end of the day, that is what the developers seem to think gamers want: more open world games. And for something that I'm not a big fan of, I think Capcom has been pretty adamant about following trends, and it wouldn't surprise me and put it past them to just follow the trend where every game is now open world, and maybe even to the detriment of the franchise. The article continues to mention that the next mainline Monster Hunter game would be a safe direction to take for the franchise, and other features like crossplay and cross progression. A true open world map, or using certain monsters as allies, could be introduced. However, Monster Hunter is more than just a hunting game. It is, and a spin-off could give the next additional Monster Hunter some extra development time. Monster Hunter Stories sub-series found surprising success as a distinct Pokemon clone. A third entry would make the name for itself as a JRPG space, and could be found even more of how mundane life is when actual monster hunters aren't around. And while I do agree with the sentiment that Monster Hunter Stories, it is a fun game, and Stories 2 was good, I don't think the main hardcore base of Monster Hunter fans really cared for it all that much. I think Pokemon fans were the ones more banging the drum of this game is better than Pokemon, because Pokemon fans hate Pokemon more. No one hates Pokemon more than Pokemon fans. So I think they were the ones banging that drum more about Monster Hunter Stories being good, and Monster Stories 2 specifically. But like actual real Monster Hunter fans, for the most part, was just like, that's not really what Monster Hunter is. So I'll check it out, but it's not something that I'm gonna wait a year or two for something new to come out. So I kind of disagree with that point, but I understand it nonetheless. Lastly, they mentioned that room for other projects will also exist, including another ample attempt at a Monster Hunter movie or a smaller spin-off title. With the popularity of the canteen cutscenes, Monster Hunter is ripe for a cooking game featuring the Meowscular chef and the Palicles. Funny enough, I made a video recently about just a Monster Hunter cooking game. Remastering old Monster Hunter titles in a collection will also be appreciated, especially if they get a modern online system in the progress. There's a lot of Capcom could do with Monster Hunter now, though fans probably can't expect to see anything until either 2023 Game Awards or 2024's Summer Game Fest. We all Tokyo Game Show is going to be happening relatively soon in September. Whatever happens now, it's a great time to catch up on existing Monster Hunter titles and their expansions while waiting for the franchise's next chapter. Actually, one of the things that I wouldn't expect them to do is a full-on remaster of any or a multiple game collection for Monster Hunter, only because those games would only appeal to the older Monster Hunter audience. I don't think you can actually go back and play 4 Ultimate, 3 Generation, those kind of games, only because those games are not really appealing to the new Monster Hunter fans. Those same casual fans that a lot of people complain about on Twitter and stuff and social media, how they're ruining the franchises and making things easier and everyone's using a Palamute. I don't think those games would actually appeal to those players. So while they might be willing to buy it and check it out, I don't necessarily know how popular they would be. Yes, there's still a subset of players who love those classic games. We're recently seeing a resurgence of Monster Hunter 3 with online servers and stuff by a couple of people who are very dedicated and they're doing amazing work. But I don't really see ever becoming that a major thing, and expecting a full-on collection of the first 3 games, for example. I just don't necessarily see Capcom spending the time to want to get that done, only because of what it represents, which is a return to normancy for the franchise, which is what they want to build upon the newer things. They don't necessarily want to go back and make players think that the next thing is going to be just like the originals were, which we've come a long way when you really think about it. Especially World and Rise took massive leaps from those original games, especially the PSP, PS2, and 3DS games. But that's about all the information that I wanted to cover in this specific video. What do you want to see in the next mainline Monster Hunter game? It's certainly a topic of discussion, and I'd love to hear everyone's feedback. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.